I'm Chris. I'm now married to Mike. We met almost 10 years ago today. We've been married since 2006. I had my own small shop. It was a small corner shop, and I used to have a small supply of books, children's books, and obviously any adult books. And he popped in once and he saw the books and we started chatting about those. And he kept coming back to say, well, have you got any history books? And it just sort of went from there. Yeah, I think he used it as an excuse to keep coming into the shop. We went to Paris for a weekend. It happened to be over Valentine's. And it just sounds so corny. It sounds as if I've made it up, but I did. I'm not making it up. In Paris, in front of the Eiffel Tower, on the 14th of February, he went down on one knee when it was all lit up and asked me to marry him in Paris on Valentine's Day. I said, yeah. I was just so gobsmacked. I usually read about 3 at once. I have 2 at home, because one I read when I go to bed. If he's watching TV, I've got a book that I read in here, and I've always got one at work. Not many people read books in where I work, so I'm a bit of an oddity at work. I go up on my tea break, I'm sitting having a cup of tea and I'm reading my book. I just read all the time, but I just love paper, the books.
Oh, dearie me.
Look.
Yes.
Do you want another one?
I'd spent a few years trying to write a novel. Well, it wasn't actually quite finished, although I pretended it was. And I sent it to an agency in London. And it landed on your desk.
My desk.
You just...
I really liked the sound of it and read the first 50 pages. And the agent I was working for read it. And ultimately...
I rocked up and Julia opened the door and I remember you were really generous with your time. She was talking about how difficult it is to sell novels. And
then from that point on, we would see each other for dinner or lunch every 3 or 4 months, like people do when they're in London. We eventually got together in 2006, having met through rejecting your novel. Writing that book, which took Tom at least for maybe 5 years. Without him having written that book, we wouldn't have met. Now, books are just as important as they were back then. I'm finishing my first novel at the moment, which I started when I was at university, about 12 years ago. And yeah, it's something that I do because I love it, really.
Honey, Peter.
there we go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bethan Mair ydw I, a dwi'n briod ag Aled Rhys Hughes ers bron I 8 mlynedd. Wnaethon ni gyfarfod yn 2004 pan o'n i'n olygydd gyda Gwasgomer, a mae gen I lyfr nath llythrenol newid y mywyd I. Comisiynu Aled nes I dynnu lluniau ar gyfer llyfr I goffau canmlwyddiant geni Waldo Williams. A mae gen i'r llyfr fan hyn fel mae'n digwydd, dyma fe, Môr Goleuni Tir Tywyll, a lluniau Aled, geiriau Waldo Williams. A y stori yn fras yw, nes I gwrdd ag Aled a cynnig gwaith iddo fe wneud y lluniau yma. Ac oedd hwnni yn mis Chwefror, ym mis Mehefin, nath yng ngwahodd I fynd am ddêt gydag ac erbyn mis Awst, yr un flwyddyn, 7 wythnos yn ddiweddarach, o'n I wedi priodi. Felly, gallai weid gyda'n llaw ar yng nghalon, o'n I bai am lyfrau a'r llyfr yma yn benodol, fas y mywyd I ddim yr un peth. Diolch yn fawr llyfrau am ddod â rhamant, cariad a phartner oes I mywyd I. Mae'n anodd I fi feddwl mor dlawd fydde mywyd I heb lyfrau. A dwi'n meddwl, os nad ych chi'n darllen llyfrau yn reolaidd, a chi'n meddwl, dyw e ddim I fi, o rwch gynnig arni, mae wastad rhywbeth I gael sy'n apelio at bawb o bethau fel stori sydyn sydd yn cymryd chydig o amser i chi ddarllen, neu nofelau Rhamantus fel sy'n addas ar gyfer heddi, neu lyfrau ffeithiol, neu hyd yn oed lyfrau lluniau. I chi'n gallu dianc o'ch byd bob dydd, neu chi'n gallu cyfoethogi eich byd chi trwy lyfrau. Mae'n mor hawdd yn diwe. Chi jyst yn pigo'r peth ma lan, chi'n agor a mae fel agor drws ar fyd arall. I chi jyst yn gweld unrhyw beth sydd yn bosib. Mae'n gallu digwydd mewn llyfr.
Eloise Manning.
And Guy Manning.
We've been together for just over a year, isn't it? Is it?
Yeah, just over a year. Year and a bit.
Year and 2 months.
Yes. I'm a part-time art teacher in a school nearby, but I'm a landscape painter. I paint in Tenby. Eloise was going to write beautiful haiku and beautiful poems about my paintings. I think we used it as a reason, as a bit of an excuse for actually meeting up and getting together, really, I think. Then I chanced upon a book that I bought and read 2 or 3 times called The History of Love by Nicole Krauss. Beautiful book. Yeah,
it's a stunning book. And there was a woman in it who had blue tights, and I took that as a sign, because I wear blue tights.
I don't wear blue
tights.
Not many people.
We do read, it's really sad actually, we go to bed pretty early, usually 9:30 on a Saturday.
No. Tenby's got all the pubs are full and stuff, and we're in bed going, cup of tea? Yeah, go on then. We always buy far too many books because Tenby's full of charity shops selling cheap books, so you sort of go in there and buy far too many. Any kind of book, whether it's considered to be a serious book or just a book about adventures or, kids flying kites, I think it's quite magical, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
I think we're incredibly lucky in this country. You can get books from anywhere for free, from a library or something, and, walk into a library and it's a million ideas all in one place. I think it's quite fabulous.
My name is Alex Jarvis. My partner is Phil Harries. We've been together for 28 years and we met through the local library, myself as the local librarian and Phil as the borrower. Right from the start, Phil would come in with his requests. He'd give me half titles, wrong authors, and I would be challenged to find the book. We clicked immediately, spent 6 months chatting in the library, so we knew each other very well. He took me to Didcot Railway Centre, but then our second date was a walk along the canal, and that was lovely. It was all very romantic, and that's when he held my hand for the first time. We have been all over the country visiting bookshops. Our favourite is Hay on Wye. We were very excited when we bought our Billy bookcases because we've got bookcases from floor to ceiling, all arranged by subject. Not quite in author. I don't go that bad. After 28 years, we're getting married next month and we're looking forward to having a real celebration with our families. It's going to be a really, really nice day. Books are so much fun. You can lose yourself in a book. It doesn't matter what you read. It's just such a lovely way to pass the time, to educate yourself, to meet people. Look at me. I've met the love of my life all through across the counter in the library. It's just brilliant.